And we're back in the kitchen. This is Dewberry over at the Flying Biscuit Candler Park. And today we're going to show you how to make one of our most popular breakfast items, creamy, dreamy grits. White cheddar cheese grits that have some things in them that are a little bit offbeat and things that make people wonder what it is. Every day we hear, you have sour cream in there, is it cream cheese? No, you're wrong on both counts. But we're going to show you, it's not a secret anymore. It's simple ingredients put together to make a beautiful breakfast delight. Let's get started. All right, these are the ingredients that you're going to need to make creamy, dreamy grits. We're going to start with grits, and we get the question all the time, what are grits? They're simply dried corn that has been ground fine. Now these are quick grits, which means they've been ground a little bit finer than traditional grits. The advantage to that is that they're going to cook quicker, and since we actually cook them a little bit longer than the 5 minutes that they normally count for, you get a creamier texture. If you're really looking for old-fashioned stone ground grits, you can use the same ingredients, you'll just need to cook it a lot longer. And you can find those if you go up to the Nacoochee Valley or Sawtee up in North Georgia. All right, we're also going to have half and half. We're going to have white cheddar cheese, and that's important. Yellow cheddar cheese has a slightly different flavor, and we want to stay away from that, so use white cheddar. We're going to use kosher salt, which you always want to use in your recipes, or you can use sea salt, never table salt. It's too salty and it's too rough. And then you're going to use white pepper. White pepper is one of those ingredients that's not really used much anymore, but it'll make a huge difference in your cooking because people don't exactly understand the flavor anymore. Some people say it's hotter, some say it's more mild. I'll let you decide. Get some and use it in your cooking. It's utterly delicious. And then at the end, we're going to smooth it out with unsalted butter. Let's get started. All right, let's get started. Creamy, dreamy grits. We've got water boiling in this pan, and we're going to add half and half to it. Half and half is going to add some of our richness, right? And then you're going to add your grits. Now, the secret to adding grits is you have to add them slowly, and you need to whisk the entire time. Otherwise, what you're going to end up with are a bunch of lumps, and lumps are what you never want unless it's in your mama's gravy. All right, so this will come up to a boil quick, so let's start adding our grits little by little, and you're going to whisk the entire time. Whisk, whisk, whisk. Add a little bit at a time. Don't get too much in a hurry. This is probably the longest process. The grits don't take that long to cook, but this needs to be a slow process. If your flame's too high, we just chop it down a little bit. See, we're making sure we whisk them out and get them in a little bit at a time. They're only going to cook about a total of 10 minutes, so it's not that long. And trust me when I tell you, your guests will be happy to wait. We're going to add the white pepper. It's not a lot. Whisk that in good. And with the salt, you're going to add as much as you think you're going to need, which I realize is ridiculous, but it's about a teaspoon to start. You can always add more salt, but there's no way to take it away. There's no throwing potato in this soup to fix the problem. So throw a couple of pinches in. You can always add more at the end because remember the cheese is going to add a little bit of its own good, salty goodness. All right, so then we're going to slowly whisk this and let it come up to a boil, and we're going to cook them until they're nice and thick. It's about a 10-minute process. This is an emergency. All right, here we go. The grits are nice and thick, as you can see. Ready to go, but they still have two main key ingredients to go into them. All right, first we're going to add the cheese. Just going to stir it slowly and let that cheese melt all the way through. The cheese is just going to add so much beauty to these. You know, if you wanted to do a southwestern feel, you could always add, you could roast some fresh corn and you could add some cumin to it and maybe just a squeeze of lime juice. And it would be a beautiful southwestern kind of grits if you wanted to do, you know, a special shrimp and grits, or you could even do like a fish and grits, or you could do, I don't know, like sliced steak with it. It'd be really nice. All right, so here we go. We got that all melted and ready to go. So then what you're going to do, and this is the nice part, is we're going to take our butter and we're just going to drop it on top. Get on there. And we're just going to let it melt. And when it's fully melted, we're just going to mix it in. And those are creamy, dreamy grits. They're going to be beautiful. See how that butter, these grits are so hot, they're screaming hot, and the butter's just going on it. These actually get better if you let them sit for a little while. You don't want to serve them. You need to give them at least maybe 15 minutes to get really good and thick before you serve them. And if you're going to serve them the next day, if you have leftovers, if you add a little bit more cream to them, a touch more butter, and another pinch of salt, you can have them for another couple of days.